Okay, so look what we got here today. I'm a little bit late to the DIS or DYS ELF party, but I finally got one, so that's good. So I'm going to do a quick review on what I would expect from something like this. I've gone for the one with the transmitter, as you can clearly see. You can buy it as a bind and flight as well. Basic quick run through, it's carbon fibre frame, really nice and solid, and then you've got the plastic prop guards, which are also the ducts as well for the ducted fan, and then you've got a plastic bodywork with a 5.8 gigahertz FPV system on it, so it's a really nice little tiny little package. Brushless motors as well, so, and these props are, as you can clearly see, I've got 5 bladed props. Now I've not flown anything with that on, so this is going to be really interesting to see. You might see at the top of the screen here, we've actually got a bit of a different set of goggles. Now these are basically free goggles, almost, that you get with the MJ XRC Bugs 8, sorry, and I'm going to give them a go on here, see how well they work, because I've tried them on the Bugs, they work really well, but let's see how they work on, you know, a more dedicated racer, see how we get on with them. So onto the transmitter itself, and it's only, I think there's about £5 difference whether you buy the bind to fly or the one with the transmitter. So up to me, I'll give it a go. I'm not expecting much from it, to be perfectly honest, though it does feel quite a nice transmitter in the hand. You do need 4 AA batteries in there. I'm not going to try and prise that open because my hands just slipped there, but you do need those to power it up, and it's got a little LCD here which displays everything actually. I mean, if you try and start it, I don't know if you'll see that in this gorgeous bright sunlight that we're having today, but it says throttle high, so you have to turn that off, so basically you can't suddenly lift the quad off, which is really good. There's another reason you can't lift the quad off. You've got an arm in switch here, but what I'll do first of all is actually plug the quad in now. So you turn on the transmitter first, get a few beeps, and then when you get the beep beep beep, that means you're actually bound to this. So no matter what I do, nothing will happen until I actually arm the quad. So flick that down, you get beeps off it to warn you, and then we're all ready to go. I'm going to turn that back off, so no matter what I touch again, nothing's going to happen. I'll have a quick look at the menus when I go indoors, because I really don't think that will come out particularly well out here, but you can basically set everything up on the PIDs and everything, the expos and everything on here, so more or less anyway, so you can do the basics here without any problem. Or with this one you can actually plug it into, I think it's Betaflight, and then you can actually set everything up. I want to see how it flies as is. This one here is your what flight mode you're in, and it starts in angle mode, so it's basically totally self-leveling. It won't go past a pitch or a roll that they've predetermined in the actual settings on it. So again, you could alter that if you wanted to in Betaflight. So but basically it will just go like that. We click it into the middle one and you get a beep off the actual quad, and we're now in horizon mode. So what that means is it becomes a lot more aggressive with how far it can go, and it will get to a certain point and it then will completely roll, either actually with the roll or with the pitch, and it will do it forward, backwards, right or left, or even at an angle as well, and it would just, but very quickly. You don't have as much control as you would in acro mode. And then if we click it down again, you get another beep, and you're now in acro mode. So there's no self-leveling. Oh, sorry, and when you're in horizon mode, it has a self-leveling. It's not usually as aggressive as the angle mode one. Horizon mode just sort of self-levels a bit softer sort of thing. So it's really in between acro and angle. Onto acro, as I say, now you're totally, you know, when you pitch it forward, if you let it, so it's pitching forward like that, if you let go of the stick, it will keep pitching forward like that till you give it another instruction to level it back up. I'm not particularly great in acro mode because I just don't fly it enough, but I'm determined to get on with it, and this is the one I think I'm going to learn it on. So hey, stay with me, it might happen. So I'm going to turn that back. So you're going to start in angle mode just to have a play around with it. This switch here is for your on-screen display, and you can alter what you're doing with that. I think the middle setting is on screen and the other ones are off, so and you can change that all with your settings in Betaflight as well, because all the switches you can anyway. And then this one's a brilliant one. So your quad's off there, like me, even in the garden, it could be, you know, 60 meters away, and it's just dropped down into the woods, lack of power, or I've actually crashed. Flish that, you get beep 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 off the quad to guide you into where the quad is. It does have LEDs, but to be honest, you know, how many times have I dropped these in the woods and they've gone down belly down and the LEDs won't show in the leaves anyway. So I've got to flick the little screen on here, and I've already had a play around to make sure it's locked onto there, and I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but that is really nice and clear and sharp, and that's why I want to give this a go, because on the Bugs 8 I don't think it's that great, but I think it's a camera issue rather than this FPV setup. And this is, I think this is great. So you could just fly it here and use just a little bit of screen, or you can use the full on screen in there. So I'll tell you what, let's just pop it up as is, and we'll have a quick fly around in just line of sight first of all. So I'm going to arm the motors, and there we are off. Whoa! Whee! Oh, this is going to be fun. I just know it is. Whee! So this is, yeah, I was saying it's not that aggressive in angle mode. It pretty much is. Oh, this thing's got to flip on its own, surely, even in angle mode. Let me just try it. I've got to give it a go. Yeah, no problems. Look at that. It's a little, oh, it's gorgeous. That is great. Wait, look at that for flipping, huh? Oh, there's quite a wind onto me. Yeah, you can see that's how much wind we've got here. Whoa, it really is struggling against that wind. Well, it's not struggling, but look how slow it's going there at full pitch. Look how fast it's going there at full pitch. Right, I could spend all my day in angle mode, in low rates, but what we're going to do is going to click it up into horizon mode. Yep. There we go, and that's the difference in horizon mode. You see, all I did was just a little bit of a, let me just bring it back in. I think there's, so you can see it's much more aggressive. There we go, and you can just flip it literally. I'll try and get that in so you can actually see it. So there we go. Can you see how much that pitch is in? Yeah, pitch. So there we go. There we go. Whoops. Trying to do it slowly is not quite going to work. So you can literally just, there we go. You can see the difference there in angle mode to horizon mode, and it's much more aggressive, as you can see. And it will just dip over, as you can see there. If you give it too much pitch, so once you've gone from there, you can go over a bit more, and then it will literally flip. Gee, but this thing is fun. Whoa, see what I mean? It's very difficult I find with horizon mode, because I'm so used to banging the sticks right the way over to get the pitch and the roll. It's quite difficult just to keep it off that last little bit there. So you see what I mean? You give that a little bit too much and it will just flip over. And we can take it back into angle mode. That's full pitch, so that's all it can do. It cannot flip over unless you kill the power. So there we go. That's full pitch, as you can see. And then we go into full acro mode. So now we've got a real load of power with it. Whee, there we go. Whee, look at that. Whoa. So kill the motors if you do that. Sorry. Trying to talk and actually fly this thing's a little bit different. Really good fun. Got a slight bend of the prop there. I mean, yeah, that prop actually looks like it's a little bit damaged, to be honest. Yeah, it really does. Oh well, we'll see how we get on. Might be why it's flying just a little bit squirrely. Oh, that's pretty level. I know it's having a little bit of a hum there, isn't it? Oh well. So now if I pitch it forwards, or to the right or to the left, with the roll, it would just keep going. So I've let go of everything here and it'll still keep going, yeah? So that's the difference between acro mode. Now, like I say, I don't fly a lot in acro mode, so I'm not the best for this by any means. So there's guys out there who can really do this stuff. But there we go, so that's Yeah, you just got to get used to sort of pulling it back off if you want to get it back to where you're used to. So here we go. Oh, we're getting low battery warning, so we'll see how we go. So basically, if I now pitch that forward, it will just keep going forward until I give it a command to do something else. But if I pull it back and then push it forward, you can see the difference there. So, oh, there we go, so we're absolutely dead. Make sure you don't run the battery out too much. Okay, going to fly a little bit of FPV. I'm going to use what I call these the free goggles you get if you buy a MJX RC Bugs 8. You basically get the top of the range one, which is about 125 quid. You get the this great screen, which I really like, and you get the goggles as well. So I'm going to give it a go with that, just see how we get on. Obviously going to use its own transmitter because that's the whole idea of my setup. And then I'm going to record what this is sending back to the screen. It'll also send it back to this one. On this screen here, I'll put links to everything down in descriptions for you if you want to have a look. This screen isn't the best, it's an real old one now, but there is better out there. But I just like being able to see what I flew, especially if I have a bit of an accident or anything. I always have an accident, but never mind. Okay, so on with the transmitter first of all, and then on with the actual quad itself. And they're all bind up, get themselves sorted out. I've already set the two screens up, and on the actual quad itself, just gave it a quick go a second ago, and like I say, the screen on this is brilliant. I really like it. Some people don't like it, it's fine, and if you've got better ones, but I've got a pair of 120 quid ones, box goggles, so I don't think there's an awful lot of difference in them. And then just pop this one on as well. There we go. And so we'll record on this one, like I say. And then I'll swap to the other camera and you can see me making a fool of myself. Okay, and we're ready to go. That's it. I've been out and did have a little play around with this, but you saw me flying it, didn't you? Line of sight. So, wow! I've sort of got a little bit used to it, but it's a very different fly to anything else I've flown FPV, I must admit. And it's really nice. Crikey. That is super. Yeah, that really is cool. So this is in angle mode. Like I say, so we just... God, even on angle mode at full, I can't even get it up to full pitch around the garden. I'm sure the proper guys could, but I can't. Just getting a little bit of drop out there, which you will do because where I'm facing. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, let's try it in horizon mode. So in angle mode, let me just show you. Come back. If I pitch, that's hard forward. Hopefully you see that. That's as hard as we can go. So that's pretty hard, I must admit. Yeah, I can't even get it. Whoa, that's about as hard as I can fly in here. I bet that won't look very fast on the actual video. Never ever does it? Okay, so I'm going to try and find the right switch. That should go. That should be. Oh shoot! There we go. That shows. Good thing about ducted fans. Now we're in horizon mode. Whoa, that's even better. And with horizon mode, what you can do is if you crank it round, yep, you can do loops. Basically flips, sorry, not loops. You can't really control what speed it does it at. So it's as soon as you go like that, it will just roll right over. Once it gets to a certain point of lean, then it will go. So, but up until that point, you've got a seriously quick quad, I would say. Whoa, yeah, this thing is awesome. This sort of encourages you to do things you wouldn't normally do. Well, like that. Doesn't help because I've definitely, when I hit the foliage, I've definitely got some foliage there that I'm sort of is carrying in front. Gee whiz, this thing goes. This is so much fun. God, gee, it turns quick as well. But it feels controllable actually. It's very nice. There seems to be, if I come off the stick, there's a sort of almost a delay I'm feeling. I don't know, perhaps I got it wrong. Oh, missed me hoop. Mind you, I can hardly see it. I think where I giggled and laughed, my goggles are misting up. This thing is seriously good fun. Whoa, yes. Well, I'm assuming it's my goggles. I'm hoping it's not the actual screen. Could be a shame if you don't get this footage. Ah, yes, see what it is. You get the idea. So really nice to fly. I'm actually thumbing it rather than actually flying it on pinching. So I'm going to try it pinching wise. Well, I'm going to totally screw that. I know I am. Oh dear, that was such a good flight. Who'd be a test pilot? Okay, we're back in action. No damage. So yeah, just a bit of operator error. I've actually cleaned the lens on that, and I've actually cleaned my glasses as well. So hopefully I'll be able to see what's going on. It did look a bit mucky, to be perfectly honest. So we'll see how we get on this time, shall we? Oh wow, it's like a whole new world. So I'm going to start in horizon because that was just so much fun. Oh yeah, this thing's awesome. Oh, I love it. You just give it that little bit too much and it just really sort of says, I'm ready to flip when you are. Like that. Oh, the battery's running low. So, oh, shall I try it in acro mode? Oh, I don't know. I'm really enjoying this, and nothing's. I haven't really damaged it. So, but look at the speed of this thing. For what it is, it's awesome. Oh, getting really, really low battery warning now. So let's just whack it in. There we go. Like I say, I'm pretty useless at this. So I'm so used. Oh no. If I'd had that on head cam, you wouldn't believe it. I didn't realise I could run so fast. We went straight in the burn. Quick run through the actual functions of the transmitter on this little menu screen thing we've got here. It's basically got your throttle rates and everything. It tells you what it's waiting to bind through the DYS, sorry, and it's a quadcopter it's waiting for. It's got what the voltage is on the actual transmitter there, and it counts up how many seconds you've had the transmitter on, not how long you've had the quad on. It's the transmitter it counts for. If you enter into the menus, this goes into stuff that it's not things I muck about with, unless if I was finding that it wasn't flying well or I wanted to alter something. Obviously I'd learn more about it, but at my level and the way I fly, I'm more than happy with what it does, to be honest. It's way beyond my means. So you've got your monitor, so you can actually check that all your switches and everything are all working properly, which is good, so that's excellent. And then you can come down and reverse things, so you can reverse the switches and everything if you want to, and also the throttles and that. You can I think this is a channel map, so it just shows you where everything is, what each one's numbered as. And I would imagine when you go into Betaflight that comes up the same. If I'm wrong on any of these things, you know, don't bite me. I'm only running through as I would have bought this because I really like the look of it, and all I wanted to do is just go out and fly. If I get heavily into it, I'll start playing around in Betaflight, but really not that bothered at the moment. It's just a really nice little quad. And then you got your dual rates and your expo. So you can actually alter all the settings as well, and the twist on the curve and everything if you want to. But you'd normally do that in Betaflight, but you can actually do some alterations in here if you like. And again, I'm quite happy with them as they are. And then you've got the mixing as well, so you can change all the mixes around and everything, and just go down and then just enter into where you want to change. So I'm going to leave mine all as standard, and then come back right out of that. And then into the setup itself, so you can bind. So if you've got a new quad or you've lost the the binding on it or anything. You can turn the ketone on and off if you want to, and then you've got factory set. I always like a factory set on cameras and anything, because once I've had a little fiddle around with them, I usually find, I've mucked it up. Go into factory set, reset it, and then it's back to how they originally set it up, which is fine for me, like I say, no problem at all. And then you've got the version there as well, of what version you're actually running. So, and I assume you can, yes, you'd be able to upgrade this, I would have thought. So, you know, that knowing the version might be a new version come out and you might want to run that sort of thing. So sorry if I haven't explained that entirely of what it actually does and the intricacies of it, but honestly that's not what I do, so I'm happy with the way it is. Now, and I'm happy with the way it is, let me have a little chat about this, the rest of the functions on this transmitter. Right, my issue is on the direction stick there. When I actually push it forward, it doesn't seem to take effect until you're quite a little way up. I mean, probably only talking that, but that is a bit of delay. If you're just sitting on hover and you want it to go forward, you wind up about there before it actually goes forward. I've checked it out on a few other drones and some of them do that as well, but I think where you're flying FPV, that really does sort of make a difference, I think, anyway. I've tried everything to get around it. I don't seem to be able to get around it, whether or not you could sort it in beta flight, but I'm thinking I doubt it. I think it's the actual stick input myself. I can't see why you would have a delay, and it seems to work in all directions on the direction stick, so you've got a sort of 10% movement before anything starts to happen on your quad. So a little bit upset about that. Not the end of the world, I must admit, because when you're FPVing, obviously you're seeing what's going on. And what I found was if I actually kept the actual forward pitch on all the time and kept it sort of pushing a bit, I didn't notice it so much. Once it's actually in motion, you're absolutely fine. But yeah, just one of the things I've noticed. Okay, so what do we think of it? Well, you know what I think of it already, I would imagine. It's awesome. I really had a blast flying it around. Obviously, you spotted, acro is not my thing. I can fly acro line of sight usually pretty well most of the time. It just doesn't really do a lot for me, I must admit. I know you're supposed to have more control and it's better and all these wonderful things. But to be honest, the way I fly, I'm more than happy. And at the end of the day, you know, I do it. It's my hobby. It's just what I do. It's just fun for me. One day I'll get my head down and learn acro properly, and I'm sure I'll appreciate it once I get there. But at the moment, I really enjoyed this in angle. When you put it into horizon, it became even more fun, and I know if I learn acro, but that's enough on the acro stuff. Okay, so generally everything really nice. It's that issue with the transmitter. I've tried loads of different things. It is, I think it's a transmitter. The transmitter costs £5, so I can't really moan. You've got your money's worth there. I'll probably buy another transmitter that I can actually hook up to it, and then I'll enjoy it a bit more. But I did get around it, and I was flying alright. I'm having a great time with it, to be perfectly honest. It's quite robust, and I haven't actually broken the ducted fan or prop guards, a sort of a combined thing. I have cracked one of the little arms on the carbon fibre, and the carbon fibre is only 2mm thick, so it's not really got a lot of guts. If it was 3mm, I think it would have been a little bit better, but never mind. It is what it is. I just super glued it together. It's popped back off again actually. I had another crash with it, but it seems pretty good. Somehow or other the props get damaged. I can't understand because they're tucked away really nicely, but they do get bent. You get a complete set of spare props as well, but you need to order some more as well, certainly if you fly like I do anyway. The good thing about this was, like I said, the missus really likes me flying this around the garden. It's not too noisy, it's quite small, and carry it around with me, it's absolutely excellent. And the other thing is, when you bump into plants and flowers and things, you don't do the trimming, which I blame the deer for, to be perfectly honest, but I think she's seen through that one. The battery, give me 10 batteries, don't give me one. It would have been nice if it had just had a couple of batteries, but it does take about 30 minutes to charge. That's really good, and I was getting 5 minutes flight out of it, so really good again. So and it bound every time, even after the crashes. I haven't calibrated or done anything with it. It just seems to really fly really nicely, and a sheer blast as well. So if it's your sort of thing or you want to give it a go, I can't really think of anything better that I've flown that's this size and around this sort of price. So, okay, happy flying.
Oh no, it didn't quite do it that time. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, we're going to slide all the way down the roof. Hop, donk, bonk, bang. Hey, shall I just try it? What do you reckon? What's the worst that could possibly happen? True. Ha! I love this quad. So I'm going to have a job flying now. Oh, it's just so cool. Oh, I laugh so much, my goggles are steaming up, sorry. Well, if you want a serious review, yeah, try another channel, I think that might be the answer. This thing is blinking awesome. I can hardly see a damn thing, to be honest. I really missed it up. I'm going to have to bring it in and land it, I think. Yeah, it's not going to clear either, so... what the hell.